here. As you can tell, I'm not in my office at home. I'm actually in Phoenix, Arizona right now. Actually, just outside of Phoenix, Arizona, in Buckeye, Arizona. And we are on the road. We're not really on tour right now. This is a one-nighter. We came in today, and we have tonight off. We play tomorrow at the Arizona State Fair, and then we're packing up, heading back home. This time of year, things slow down. Like at the beginning of the year, usually January through, July, August, sometimes into September. When we go out, we'll be out for a while. Like we'll be out for 1, 2, 3, 4 weeks at a time. But right now we're kind of at the end of the year, and what happens, and a lot of times, if you're new to touring and stuff like that, some of this stuff might not be 100% taken into consideration at first, but weather's a big thing, right? So you don't want to be out there on the road fighting weather, fighting snowstorms. And it's not even that, there's going to be times when you have to fight weather on the road, but people aren't going to come out to the shows, right? If you're, playing in Timbuktu and it's snowing out like crazy, you don't want to be out there driving in the weather to play a show. The people don't want to be out there driving in the weather to come to a show. So anyway, we slow down a little bit at the end of the year, and we're just doing kind of one-nighters right now. And when I say close to home, we're based out of Fullerton, California, and so Phoenix, we kind of consider it almost a local show. It's a 6-hour drive. Once again, come in the night before and get an Airbnb. We used to stay, and we still do stay in a lot of hotels, motels, and stuff like that, but usually we stay in an Airbnb, especially when we are touring a lot, where we're doing, regional shows, let's say within 200 to 300 miles of each other. We'll get an Airbnb and hub out of it, so we'll go in and out. Makes life a little bit easier on us. And that's kind of what this particular video is about. Kind of finding your own space, keeping your sanity, and keeping everything together on the road. It can be tough. It can be really hard to do. One of the things that I think that it's an old an old thing that's misleading, that people would say, the band broke up because the singer and the guitar player had different musical ideas. They had different musical opinions. They wanted to go in different artistic directions. No, they didn't. They lived together on the road, in a bus, in a car, and they couldn't stand each other, right? And so hotel rooms, and it's all fun and games, and there is a lot of fun to be had when you're on the road, but still, after you've been doing it for a while, you get a little bit older, you get hopefully a lot wiser. You get wiser. I think it's really important when you're on tour to find your own space, to kind of retreat away from the band and have your own place to chill. That's one of the great things about being in the band that I'm in, the Sam Morrison Band. We have that luxury that we can get an Airbnb. It's worked into the budget of the show, and we all have our own space. Now, if you're just starting out, you're new to touring, that may or may not be the case. You're going to have to, a lot of times bunk up with somebody, and we still bunk up from time to time, but most of the time we get our own rooms. At any rate, you might have to bunk up with somebody, for a night or 2 nights. If you're traveling in the same car with the guys, the people in the band, and it can be taxing, and it's really the little things, right? It's never, I'm sure there are big blow-ups, but usually it's just the little things that are irritants in your life that are going to irritate you, whether you're, on the road with a band, or you're hanging out with your buddies or your wife or your husband or whatever the case may be. So I think it's really important to have that space and utilize it, right? Get into your room. I get my room kind of set up and, put my stuff away. I don't, it doesn't have to be perfect and pristine, but I'm not a pig. I don't have stuff thrown all over the place. And I just kind of keep my stuff together and kind of keep it tight, and then that way it keeps my sanity for me, and it doesn't look like a bomb went off in the room. It also keeps things going to where, okay, when you're leaving for the show, if some of the stuff is in the room with you and you're leaving for sound check and load in, you don't forget something. Everything's kind of kept together. And again, some of that stuff goes without saying, but I remember when I first started touring that those little things, those little tiny things that you don't think of, man, they end up being a big thing. So anyway, try to find your own space. Try to find a place, even if you're, you don't have like your own room, let's say in an Airbnb, if you can find the living room that's on the other side of the house or whatever, get the couch, and just, set up your little spot. It's also a place where you can be creative. I sit in here and I've got in my bag right here, in my laptop bag, the laptop I'm doing my video on right now, I've got I'll show you, I've got some music, got my practice pads, so got some music I'm working on, just a little snare drum or two. I can sit and practice, and I'm not bugging anybody, they're not bugging me. I've got my laptop right here, or my tablet. I can tap into the Wi-Fi, watch some YouTube, watch a TV show, whatever. And again, it just kind of decompresses you. Back in the day, back when it was, crazy mayhem, and back in the drinking days and stuff like that, it was, there was always one room where everybody was gathering. It was loud. It was a party, and what ends up happening, like what let's say what happened to me a lot, and it's one of those irritants. It just, after a while, it's like, come on, guys, everybody's hanging out, drinking, having beers, maybe have a bag of chips, somebody's eating something, they're sitting on your bed, party's over, everybody goes to their room. Well, they go back to their room, or they go to wherever their place is going to be, and then you go to sleep in your bed and there's chips and crumbs and junk all over it, and it just kind of like, oh my God, So those are the things. That's like one example, and I could go on forever. And I'm not going to turn it into a negative thing or a rant, but that's one example of stuff that can happen. And so here, when you're in a place like this, and it's nice, it's comfortable, it's kind of like a little home away from home, Now again, if you've been doing this for a while and you're watching this video, you've been on tour for a while, you've done any kind of touring, whether it's like what we do, in a bus, sharing boat, whatever. When you get to your place that's your home base, I think it's really important. Find your spot, find your place. I'm going to do a video. I don't have all my stuff with me on this run because, once again, it's one night. We're in and out. I'll be home. Today's Saturday. We play Sunday. I'll be home Monday, right? So I'm going to do, in this video series, I'm going to do some of the stuff that I bring on the road to make life easy and make things a little more comfortable that I bring on the road with me, that I kind of set up my own space, but I don't have that stuff with me, but I'll do that in a future video. But anyway, that's kind of my take on it. So, and then try to get as much rest as you can, because like this one's going to be pretty easy. I think we've got to be to the stage for load in and sound check at 3. And then we do 2, I think we're doing 2 shows tomorrow, like a matinee and then a dinner show type of thing. And so this one's going to be easy, just in and out. But still, today we did, 6-7 hours of driving, and you get tired, So the road is not a place to, it'll wear you down, it'll beat you up. So take care of yourself, hydrate a lot. I kind of got addicted to these berries, and I get those at Love's and stuff like that. So hydrate, keep yourself healthy, eat right, all those things, get your rest. And for God's sakes, if you can, find your own space. It's just, I think it's essential. Even if, like, let's say you're staying in a hotel, right? And you're always going to be on a budget. There's always going to be on a budget. If you're on a run of more than one show and you just need to get away from the band if you have to, and it's within your budget, get your own room for one night. Just pay for your own room, hey guys, I've got my own room. I'm going to go chill out on my own over here. I think that, that's something that is also doable. You got to kind of weigh the good and the bad with that. Financial things on the road are always a concern. But that's one of the things you can do. Just pay with your own money, get your own place, get your own, space, and just get away from everybody, get away from the band. But here I am, got my own little space, doing my video. Gonna get this up tonight. Looking forward to the show tomorrow. Gonna do a piece of gear, kind of a video on this new piece of gear that I'm using. I'm really excited about. So anyway, thank you for watching. If you like this video and you find it helpful, you're thinking about being in a band, you are in a band, you need to learn about being in a band, please like and subscribe. And do me a favor, if you like some of these suggestions, or if you are a guy or a gal in a touring band and you see this video and you have a suggestion, put it in the comments below, man. I love to hear that stuff. I love to hear the comments and love to hear people tell me what they think. Maybe something, an anecdote that they've come up with from touring and doing this sort of stuff. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.